Yes.
Yes, yes, no,
No.
no,
No. No. No.
yes, yes,
Oh yes. Oh yes.
yes, no.
Ladies, why yes means no. Discover the truth behind China's business etiquette and culture. Now, have you ever noticed if you ever negotiated and done business with affluent Chinese? Sometimes they would say yes, and then a few days later, you don't hear from them again. Or they may say no, 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 and suddenly they come back to you and they want to do a deal. Now, why is that? Today we're going to explore that and how the affluent Chinese, what they actually think. So, what do you think?
They just don't want to tell you what they're actually thinking.
Why are they so not secretive, but what are they hiding? Why can't they just be more upfront and hey, here's what I want, here's what I don't want? Like, why is that?
I think they're afraid of being cheated. They're just so afraid of like people lie to their face. So it's easier for them to protect themselves and not showing the true thinking. That's easier.
I think in China, you have to understand, if you've ever gone to China, every single day, like they're being scammed every day. Someone's trying to scam them, right? I remember when we went to China, that even our phone was getting these scammers trying to get money from us, and oh, your son is in the hospital. I don't have a son, and like all kinds of crazy scams, even on the street. Remember, we were buying a Wi-Fi thing, and we tried it, and
Oh yeah.
we bought
SIM
SIM
card or
card,
telephone.
and it works on the spot. Just take back to the hotel. It doesn't work anymore, and because there are billions and billions of people, so they scam one person. It doesn't matter. When they come to here, I think they don't trust, and that's why they don't want to show their true intent. Do I actually want to buy this? Do I not want to buy this? Do I want to do business? They need to observe you a little bit more. And they don't, that's why they don't want to show their emotions and intent so much. So when they say, yeah, sure, I'm interested, what they may be saying is, I'm not interested, but I don't want to tell you I'm not interested in case you might have some information for me. Vic, what do you think?
Yeah, the interesting is, I think a lot of times their heart is set on it's a hard no.
Yes.
They cannot bring themselves to say that.
Because they want to be polite.
They want to be polite and they have a fear of confrontation. They don't know what
Yes.
that could look like.
Yes.
And there's so much fear, they would rather not get into it. They don't want to be persuaded further either. They don't want to be in a position of being asked, oh, why don't you want to do this? And them having to explain themselves. They feel a lot of pressure. So it's easier to say, yeah, maybe, I'll think about it. And it's just, they feel better. And visually also, they can keep a smile on their face.
Yes.
They can still walk away feeling like they haven't hurt the other party's feelings.
Yes.
So a lot of that is being able to really preserve their emotions, and they don't feel good about rejecting other people.
And I think also, again, goes back to China, because in China, you don't want to burn any bridges. You don't know who they know, and you don't know when you'll meet them in the future.
There's no permanent enemy.
Yeah, no permanent friend, no permanent enemy. So they don't want to piss anybody off. So that, yeah, sure, I'm interested. Then actually they're not interested, but they just want to kind of keep the relationship. Now, interestingly, when I do business with Caucasian, it's much more direct. Hey, you want to do a deal? You don't want to do a deal? Let's have a meeting. Let's kind of hash out the details and let's just sign the deal. China, it's not like that, especially dealing with the Chinese. What about also that when they say no, it doesn't necessarily mean a no. They might say no. It's like, I don't know, in China, that's the bargaining, right? If they walk into a house, if they
Criticize the house.
Yeah, if they like the house, the first thing they would do is they criticize it. I don't like this. I don't like that. Well, this is shit. Or I don't like the kitchen. You're like, okay, this person is not interested at all. No, actually, they're very interested because they want to tell you so many bad things. Later on, when they sit down with you, yeah, I don't like all these things, but if you give me a good price, I would buy it. So they're using that as a negotiation thing, right?
And Chinese negotiation strategies are very interesting.
They put you down first.
I've seen other ones where they go into a furniture store.
Yeah.
They enjoy everything. The conversation goes well, and then when it comes time to pay, they're like, "Great, we'll take everything at 40% off."
Yes.
And then the salesperson is like, "Wow, okay, well, I'm not really ready for this." Right? So they kind of like to stun you on the spot and see how far they can really push you to the edge.
Yes.
And I remember a few years ago, I was in Shenzhen. and I was walking around the mall, and they were very aggressive with the sales. Some of the people were coming out of the stores trying to solicit me to come into the store.
Yes.
And of course, I was in the mall, so I went into a few of them, and interestingly enough, I looked at a few things, and they automatically thought that I wanted it, just from picking it up and looking at it. So I remember I put on this jacket, and I thought, okay, I tried it on, it was okay. Then I put it back, I'm like, you know what, it's okay. And I really meant it. I really didn't want it, right? And she's just chasing me out the door with the jacket. She's like, okay, I'll give it to you for 10% off. Then I keep walking, right? I'm like, what's happening? She's following me.
She's thinking you're using skills on her.
Yeah, she's thinking I'm trying to pull something off.
Hackling.
And then she keeps following. She's like, 20% off, 30% off. And I'm like, I really don't want it. And I'm like running away. Yeah. So I thought it was a pretty hilarious situation being in China.
You got to do that because whatever price that they have, pretty much you can negotiate. Everything is negotiable.
Yes.
So it's never just the mock price. So they're so used to kind of marking up the price, and they know you're going to negotiate 20, 30%. It's like so common, right?
It's actually the same when you go to like tourist site anywhere in the world.
Yes.
You don't automatically, whatever the price they put on, you want to do a 30% or 50% discount, right? Yeah. So they know there's so much margin.
But it's interesting. I think the Chinese, they think of it like it's a game. Like mom and dad, they love to do that, right? they could go to Costco and say they want to go. Well, why is this crap this expensive? I want this steak. Here, no, that's just the price. That's what you pay, and that's it. No, they like to play that game. They're back and forth. We don't negotiate. Well, what about no tax? No, we got to charge tax. What I'll pay you cash, then give me a discount. No, it's the same. Like it's very, very different. Very, very different. So dealing with the Chinese, how can we tell if their yes actually means a yes, or how can we tell the no means a no?
That's a very deep question. I think firstly you gotta start with like facial expression. Maybe when you start talking with them, was they engaging? Was they actually listening?
Yeah.
Or they're actually looking around?
Playing with the cell phone.
Not really paying attention. Yeah. And second thing,
body language.
Yes, body
reading
language.
That, paying attention to that. Okay.
I think second thing is more like when they actually, let's say you explain the whole situation, and then when they actually can talk, look at the body language. Are they like more like leaning back, or they're more like leaning forward? I think sometimes when they're actually leaning back doesn't mean they don't like it.
Yeah.
It means they want to take back the control or the power of the other party leaning forward, so I have more control. Now we can start negotiating.
Yes.
And sometimes if they like this, it not necessarily means, I'm actually very interested. It means, okay, maybe I should go after he finished this conversation, right? So it's actually, you have to think maybe 2 steps ahead, not just yes or no, that simple. Mainly the body language.
Yeah, I think body language, and also knowing that they think many layers deep. That is not so simple to say just yes and no, but they have, especially if it's a major purchase, there are many considerations. Example, again, let's go back to like buying a house. If they buy a house in here, it's just, hey, you know what, can we afford a down payment? Can we afford a mortgage? Does my family like it? It's a simple, do I like a location? But they have many, many other considerations, such as, well, my money's in China, how am I going to get it here? And what about tax? What about if I'm here and maybe I'll go back to China to work, but my wife stays here, and then how would she like it? And are we planning to stay here for 5 years, and then once I get my citizenship, I want to go? That's it. Or actually, I want my kids to be here and learn. Like there are many, many considerations, not so straightforward. So if you don't address those concerns or find out what those concerns are, then it's very difficult for them to say yes. And I also think maybe to see just how much time they're investing with you. I think that makes a difference. So if they say, I'm not interested, but they keep asking you, let's have another meeting. It means that they are interested for sure. That they want to learn a little bit more because they're investing their time. Every time you think you're going to close the deal, well, they'll say, let's have another meeting. You're like, damn, how come I can't close the deal? Let's have another meeting. So here, maybe you close 2 meetings, you close the sale. With Chinese, you might need 10 meetings. It's just the way that they are. It's just the way they think. So if they're investing time, they want to meet more, it's an indicator that they're interested. So knowing next time, no doesn't necessarily mean a no. Yes doesn't necessarily mean a yes. Yes could be a no. No could be a yes. You got to pay attention.